Alright, we are live, and we are here at our prototype power plant, where at the end of last stream we set this up. We hooked it up to some crude oil and some water, and we tested and found some bugs with it. So I have helpfully kept notes of the bugs, which means that I can fix them. And that's what we're going to be doing first. So in addition to bugs, there's also just like general changes in how exactly I want to do this. So we'll get the blueprint designer down and do that. Alright, so let's load fuel. Is this the right one? Looks to be it. Alright, so we have all this. So the first thing we need to do is we need to get this belt up to the top floor-ish area, because we're changing how we're doing that. So you come down here and you go in there. So yeah, the plan is to make, because this is going to be basically a two-part blueprint where we put this on, then we put another blueprint directly on top of it. So in order for that to work, we need to make sure that it is relatively simple to actually get that set up properly. So the next thing we need is this is not hooked up. And I think Mark 1 is good. Probably, yeah, it's 20 canisters. Alright, so that should be all hooked up now. Now we just put a floor hole above that. And we send you up through. There's also something on this floor which wasn't hooked up to power, I believe. Yes, this thing right here. So let's find the power pole to connect this to. Alright, cool. You have that. Now I have to go up to the third logistics floor-y type thing. So go up here. And we bust out this corner. And we put a conveyor wall in, but hang on. This is fluid stuff going out through the walls, which means it is a little bit, well, potentially. Actually, we might be able to avoid that. Alright, but regardless, that is that. So now, when I set up the next floor, it can send that up, like just out through with a single conveyor lift snapping to both that output and the input. Now, we need to get this up as well. And I actually think the best way to do that will be, first of all, to take that out, put this directly above here. Oh, that's a wall hole. We need a floor hole. Put that there. Hook that up to that. And now when we build the next floor of the blueprint, we just need to leave like this corner walled off, which I guess we'll save this floor. And what corner of the blueprint is this? I I guess it doesn't really matter. It just has to be one of them. Alright, it's the back left when facing from the machine. And the pipe is on the left side. Alright. So let's get down here. Let's clear that out. And so let's put that as the entryway, I guess. So then we can put a wall hole in there. And then we'll be able to snap from the floor hole up to the wall hole. And that'll work. And then the other thing here is the conveyor lift, which is going to be coming up this way. And I guess needs... Okay, actually, this isn't going to work, so it's going to be more annoying to build it this way. So I think instead we have the conveyor wall there. And we're just going to have to move that lift over a bit. So this corner will be cut out. And I think... So nothing is ever going to be put on top of this, right? So we can just have, like, a basic, like, ground level wall like that. And then it'll be fine. It'll probably actually look just nicer that way. Alright, so let's get our fuel-powered generator in. Like that, I guess. Is that close enough? Yep, that lines up pretty well. And we just take the pipe directly into there. And then the other thing we need is an awesome sink, which is actually much bigger than I expected. Alright. Let's see if we can fit... Like, if we just put the awesome sink in this corner here, hold that and then nudge it. No, it doesn't really need nudging, does it? Yeah, okay, that's as far back as it'll go. So we have the awesome sink in there. And... Sorry about that. We need to find a way to get the fuel generator in as well. And it seems like it doesn't want to work. Okay, that's annoying. So what, the awesome sink is too wide, and the fuel generator is like 2.5 wide. Alright. Well, darn. There goes my plan for that. So we're going to have to wait until we get the next tier of blueprints to fit both of those in the same thing, I guess. Unless we can, like, save space by moving the awesome sink up or something. So I have no idea if this will work. It probably won't. But if we like lay out some foundations here, and I put the sink up on this level. No, that's probably just not going to work at all. Which I'm very upset about. And I was kind of assuming that you'd be able to squeeze both of those in. Apparently the awesome sink is just barely too big. So in that case, we'll need to just bring that down to somewhere helpful. I guess we can just bring them down to like a sink that they all use in common. For now, I guess that means we should make the generator centralized just so that it looks good. So something like that is probably central. And then that pipeline goes in. That doesn't need to be a conveyor wall. It can just be a regular wall. And let's get the power line out. Something like there, because why not? Now we will save this as generator roof, I guess. 20 fuel to 1 generator. Alright, and then we'll need to set up the awesome sinks manually, but that shouldn't really be that big of a problem. It'll even save us some power, right? Because awesome sinks have to be powered somewhat. Alright. Did I fix all of those bugs? Power lift. Yes, alright. I believe I have fixed all of the bugs. And now I can just real quick take that down. And we have fuel. Apparently this is a bit further back than I had built the foundations for, so let's extend that out a bit. Now put this in. Give me some distance so I can see what I'm doing. I have it in build mode blueprint and it is absolutely not snapping at all, which is quite annoying. I guess I can hold it and then nudge it a bit. Okay, I guess that one just isn't. Alright, so now that is lined up. Alright, so then we place that. We can put the generator roof on top. And now we just have to hook everything up. So that goes into there. And then that goes up to there. And these come along this way. And give this one some height. And this one is the front one, so it stays relatively low. And that's not where the outputs are for that anymore, so we don't need to worry about that. Okay, this is just barely too short, so I'm going to have to extend it out probably just this way. And give it height. Then that goes in, and that goes in. Did I do this wrong? I didn't save the blueprint. All right. Down you go. That's incredibly annoying. I forgot to save my new blueprint to overwrite the old one, which means I'm going to have to do all of that again. It wasn't that much work. So whatever. Alright, so we take that. We bring it up and hook that up. We take that conveyor lift out. And replace it. And hopefully that worked. Alright. Power, check. Canister lift, check. Polymer resin output has to be fixed. So that's this. It goes up this way. In there. Remember, kids, always save your blueprints before you clear them. Alright, so then that lift, actually, I had it go all the way up through here. And there you go. Then we head up to the top floor. And we take that out. We put the floor hole in like there. And pipe up to it. And then we take that, make it a conveyor wall. And we bring it out. And now we do the most important step, which is saving this before clearing it. I almost just cleared it again. All right, save that, clear it, destroy the blueprint designer. And now we put this in again. Alright, then we nudge that over a little bit. Place it in. We get rid of these pipes. And we replace them. Then we find power, attach that out. We find power. We didn't put the top floor in, of course. So that goes like that. That goes like that. And now we just need to fly all the way up there. And hook the pipe up. Like that. And we lift that down. This hole doesn't do anything, but it's not also not hurt anything to exist. Alright, there's a guy just chilling here, I guess. And then it definitely said that that was lined up, but it definitely wasn't. What the heck? Alright, that wall is causing confusion. So let's do that. Why is it not lining up properly? If I do it from there, then that lines up. And now we attach the sink up. And attach the sink to a power pole, of course. And boom, we have just increased our power production. Eventually, once that gets up there. That is the slight bump from us installing the machines. The actual power is not being produced just yet. There's packaged fuel. It's being unpackaged. And everything seems to be working here. So the next thing to check is if my fix on that belt actually worked. Oh, we seem to have used, speaking of packaged fuel, let's grab some of that. It's very difficult to tell if that belt is actually working as advertised or not. If I take those out, and I take all of those out, it should still get a steady supply of canisters from here. And it is. Fantastic. Alright, so last things to fix. Swap that wall out and probably put in one less stack of canisters. I think having 2 stacks of canisters in there is wasteful. But does seem to be working. Everything checks out. Alright, so this has just been like a test setup. This is not the place we permanently build our fuel factory. So let's find a place with access to a lot of fuel. How much? So this is 7.5 crude oil per thing. How much crude oil do we even have access to here? So this is 60. And there's probably... I think there's like another node I haven't used in this general vicinity. Yes, it's another normal node. Now I happen to know that, yeah, there's all this crude oil up here by the coast, and there's also water up there. So I think what I'm actually going to do, I finished scanning all my hard drives and also selecting them, by the way. It just takes a while to do that, so I did it off stream. So let's head north-ish. And we will set up our giant fuel, our proper fuel factory up there by preferably a pure node or two. And while we're at it, let's run some wires, I guess. Alright, I'm not entirely sure what happened there. Seems like I just connected it to another random power pole by the base. I've already grabbed this, right? Right. I can't wait until you can dismantle those and not have to constantly be looking at them and thinking, did I grab it? So it looks like there's a water station up over there. Yeah, literally right there, in fact. We're just going to bring this completely unrelated power line along. And turn north at some point to reach the oil. Do a scan, pop up the map. Yeah, I think somewhere up here... What does it mean, purity temp? Somewhere up here is where I did my regular non-rocket fuel power plant last time. And I think it's a sensible place to put it, just in general. So let's head on up. I don't think it was literally here, but it was like in this general vicinity. No, I don't want to scan for SAM. I want to scan for crude oil. Obviously we've got impure stuff up directly around me. There's a pure node. A bunch of impure nodes. Alright, let's get some oil extractors on these, I guess. And I don't see the rest of them. I might be dumb. Alright, there's a pure one up there, which I guess we'll grab. So I think this... Let's see. Last time I did my diluted fuel power plant, I had 2 pure nodes, and I believe like I had max overclocked them or something. Or partially overclocked them. I think much like this time, I did not have Mark II pipes at the time. let's bring power back over this way. And start collecting this fuel for a power plant. I can't believe I've already lost where the other ones are. There they are. Alright, so now we can bring this back, hook that up to that, and now we have power. And hook these extractors up. That gets us 60. I think this one gets us 120, and the other one gets us 240. Which should be a lot of power. Especially with water. Gosh, diluted fuel is just so cool. Ooh, a Mercer Sphere. Not going to complain about that. I desperately need some of these.
Tuning into the effigy.
I suspect there is a misunderstanding. The effigy and I are different entities.
Discordant, what is your route?
I am an instantiated artificial intelligence inhabiting digital space.
No,
I am in
not
the
too
signals
far.
sent between satellites. I am hosted on servers and have no corporeal form, only synchronized cloud platforms.
The effigy is not an effigy?
It most certainly is, but
All
not
right.
of me. They are, how should I put it? Extremely flat.
Compatible music. We are writing new symphonies.
Alright. So now we have all of the oil in the general vicinity right here. We need to build a nice platform. Give us some vertical space. And horizontal space as well, of course. Alright, so that is a lot of crude oil. Now I guess we just start... What's the best way of doing this? We're still sort of just above ground level. So we need that. We need our water extractors as well. And we're going to need a lot of them. Let's blow up these mushrooms to clear out that space. So it's 20 water to 1, which means one of these water extractors can handle 6 blueprints. So let's get those hooked up. And this should be enough water extractors for now at least. Alright. Let's put the blueprints on the hotbar. So fuel will be 8 and the roof will be 9. Yeah, and as expected, we do not have the dimensional storage to place even one of these, let alone like a billion. Alright, So that is one blueprint placed. And I want to at least get, like, the setup for all of this. So we have 2 pipes running along the foundation. One of which is at ground level, the other one is taller than that. And then we have a sink back here. Which requires apparently 45 concrete. And apparently I have none of that in my inventory at the moment. So we're going to wait for that to filter in. And then we're going to head back to the main base and pick up just like a ton of stuff. So that comes down, faces that way. We actually need room for a merger in here. So that lift comes down there. These pipes are going to have to be shifted even further out, which is fine. So that goes there, that goes into there. This pipe goes away. You go into that. You're powered on, so that's done. And then we have our 2 pipes. One at ground level. Like that. And then one above ground level. Like that. And then they get hooked up so that, gosh, which one is it? Water goes to the right. Alright, so that goes in there. We'll say the top pipe is oil, the bottom pipe is water. So that goes up there, this comes here, and then in there. And it looks like the pumps, the inbuilt pumps are going to be enough for that, which is quite convenient. Then we bring power out to a nice visible location, hook everything up. We put in the roof generator. We hook that up to power. And then we fly up, which we can just barely manage. And hook the pipe in. And then this should all work. And I just want to confirm this will start working. And then we'll head back and grab a whole bunch of resources. We're going to need stacks and stacks and stacks of iron plates and concrete for this. I don't want to place a whole bunch of things that don't work. So that's why we're just being extra cautious. Ah, alright. Let's put a pump in there and see if that fixes it. It looks like that oil pipe is not being filled. Yep, there it goes. That's what you want to see. Alright. So that appears to be starting to work. And hopefully this will turn green soon. Let's drop into these to check. Why are you red? No power. I'm pretty sure I attached power. But I guess I didn't attach it to anything in particular. Alright. How about now? Alright, now we see that nice little uptick. Everything is hooked up. Hang on. I need ground space for this merger to run through. So let's see, that lines up along this way. Is that straight? Yes. So it needs to be something like that. Which means that this pipe in particular needs to be higher up, I guess. Just like a little bit higher up, though. Alright, like that. And then that fits. Alright, cool. Problem solved. And this isn't getting any packaged water for some reason. This isn't getting any packaged fuel. What is going on in here? So if we head up to the second floor, is there a horrible problem up there? This isn't getting any water. Why are you not getting any water? So this is your input pipe. And it comes from down here. Ah. I think I know the problem. it's another... Like, this is, I guess, just barely enough to get it up to here, but no further. So we need to pump it to get it the rest of the way up into there. Where, like, there's another pump, like, literally there, which I guess is just barely not close enough to work. And all right, it seems to be working again. Maybe is this pump on backwards or something? No, it looks like it's working. Pipes are probably just weird. Yeah, why is there no water in, like, any of these pipes? What the heck? Is this getting water? No. Please. Water. Stop being annoying. Okay, I'm just going to assume that pump was indeed, like, backwards or something. And I will put a new one on. Alright. This is definitely pointing forwards, right? So you're not running at all. Meanwhile, these pumps, this is not working. Why, though? Why are you like this, water? Why can't water just be normal? Is this... If I take that out, this still doesn't get any water. Okay, is this connection just not legitimate or something? Like, what if I do that? What if I put the pump down here where it gives more headroom? Alright, that seems to be showing progress. Alright. I hate water, it's stupid and annoying. But we seem to be getting somewhere with it. So that's nice. Yeah, so now that pump is pumping. You can see it sticking through the wall. If we come up here, then it's outputting packaged water. And everything is good to go. Alright. Hooray for weird, annoying problems. Now, in all that time... Alright, so we need empty canisters, iron plates, and concrete from the base. That's pretty much the full list of things we need. Also, I have been super lazy about picking up power slugs in this world. Like, I need more of those badly. So let's pick up a couple. grab a couple of these while we're moving along. And maybe grab a Mercer Sphere if I happen to see it and it's easily accessible. Alright, grab another Power Slug while we're here. There is a Mercer Sphere in this area, which I assume will be up on top of this pillar. Supposedly it is this way and directly up, so yeah, it's gonna be up there. So let's get a foundation and a ladder. So this can gain us a lot more height more easily than the jetpack can. And there's the sphere. Cool. Alright, we grab that.
Symphony complete. You are not the not effigy.
Correct.
There's a purple power slug, so I'm going to hop over and grab that.
I do not think that is correct, even though I am not entirely certain of your definition of temple.
The not effigy is not you, but sits for you.
So we get up
But
here.
non-effigy is an entirely separate entity from me. We aren't even made of the same base components.
Let's grab another purple power slug
Clouds.
Probably close enough for
and
now.
take some radiation damage while we're here. And keep on moving. Apparently the Mercer Sphere is close. Like, it should be either literally directly above me or literally directly below me. But I don't see it in either of those locations. Which means it's probably in a cave. Which means I'm not gonna bother hunting for it. I'll just grab some more power slugs. And I'm not sure whether I have the summer sloops to get the power duplication stuff or not. It would be nice if I did. Oh, I see a Mercer Sphere. It's down here. Let's grab another one of these. That'll let us upgrade our dimensional storage even more. And we keep on going up. Alright, there is a Mercer Sphere this way apparently, but I'm really more prioritizing getting back to the hub than hunting Mercer Spheres. That's just sort of a thing that I'm doing along the way. Really, I should be like building a sky bridge out there or something so that I can get there and back easily. Although I do have actually the sky bridge to the water supply, which is right over there as well. So it's probably fine. I can just take that. Alright. Take this ladder, get up this cliff, and the hub should just be on the other side. Alright, just about there. Grab a yellow power slug, I guess, while we're passing through. And make it the rest of the way there. Alright. So now we are almost back at the hub. We need to grab canisters. We need to grab concrete. And we need to grab iron plates. And just fill our inventory with those. And let's land up here to refresh our fuel. And then get up onto the city. The canisters are over here. So let's grab some of them. Where are they? I had a big sign where they were labeled. I think this is it here, right? No, that's concrete. Well, canisters were further west from the concrete. I believe this will be them over here. Yes, canister return. Look at that. Alright. Speaking of which, how is this going? It's not fully backed up yet. I have this thing down here, which is storing a significant amount of canisters. So let's grab some of them. And I guess we don't need to make our way back up to the city. We need to make our way over here to these storage boxes. Down by the old factory. So down over here there will be concrete and iron plates. And we're going to have to grab so much of them. How many iron plates is it? It's 400 per batch. A couple of other things, but mostly 400 iron plates and a lot of concrete as well. Let's grab as many batches of that as possible. Fill up the rest of our inventory with that. Gosh, this isn't even going to be that impressive in terms of how much, like, we need so much. Alright, can we upgrade this? The next upload speed upgrade would be another 3 Mercer spheres. The depot expansion upgrade we could do now, but barely helps at all. Making this be 120 a minute would help somewhat. Alright, we can get production amplifier. Let's get... fill up sand fluctuators. Get rid of some leaves so we can get a stack of those. Alright, let's get production amplifier. That's a useful upgrade to have.
Production amplifier unlocked. Every single manufacturing and smelting building will be backwards compatible with this new technology. These buildings can now have a summer slope embedded to increase resource output
sort of a waste of
without
Mercer
requiring
spheres.
more input, at the cost of greatly increased power consumption.
Flow cycles within flow cycles make explosions into temples and explosions into temples. The spin sphere of woven windows
let's get that upgrade.
Each tiny body contains tinier bodies until the line layers fold into curves, which folds into threads, which we
And now we head off to the water supply train.
I think they're trying to explain energy to matter conversion theory, but you do not need to understand it to do your job. I'll just mute them for you so you can continue your mission. I, however, will be taking notes. This is fascinating material.
Alright, so the water supply train took us very close.
Dimensional expansion increased to 300%. New understanding of matter manipulation technology allows the dimensional storage to deconstruct all matter to the subatomic level, storing its elementary particles until the part is recalled.
So I don't know how much... I guess we'll probably just set it up with this batch and then probably go off to do something else. So I think the next thing I need to do is probably fix the heavy modular frame factory, because boy is it underproducing at the moment. So I need to, in order to do that, I need to get packaged fuel producing in the blueprint in the city, so then I can use that packaged fuel production to fuel truck stops for like actual tractors and stuff, and that will allow me to transport enough ingots to keep the heavy modular frame factory happy. So yeah, this sky bridge gets us most of the way there. And let's unselect this, and what that does is it makes sure the blueprint will keep on filling, or the dimensional storage will keep on filling with more resources instead of just sitting idle while my inventory gets slowly depleted. So let's take this sky bridge over here just for ease of movement. Oh, and don't fall off, of course. And then we need to turn north. Just a little bit further this way, I think. Hard to judge distances this far out, but something like this ought to do. So we're gonna do as much as we can here to make our power generation, but we're gonna probably stop and do more Mercer Sphere hunting soon. All right, Skybridge is making progress. We are just about there. Yeah, and now we ladder down. And don't fall. Falling would be mildly inconvenient. So we drop down this ladder. And then we start building a whole bunch of blueprints. I just realized I don't have canisters hooked up to dimensional storage anywhere, which means that that's something that I can't actually do. But I can't do that nearly as long as the rest of these, because they're not going to be supported. But we can at least get... We can get a good, 8 of these in with the canisters we have. Alright, is that lined up? Yes. Alright, so that goes in. And we need conveyor lift on this hotbar for convenience. Or actually probably better just to do this on its own hotbar. So let's go. Fuel as 1, roof generator as 2. Conveyor lift is 3. Belts is 4. Pipelines is 5. Pipeline junctions is 6. Mergers are needed. 7. Power is needed. So that can be 8. And let's get this all set up. Of course, belts are 4 this time instead of 3 as per usual belts, but that's fine. So we run that along, bring it up to scooch. We run this along, bring it up all the way. Bottom one is the far one. Top one is the close one. So we attach those in. And power. We attach that in. We attach that up. And then we get up to the top where we put in the last bit of pipe, or we fail to get up to the top and we fall back to the ground like a fool. So let's hover the rest of the way up. And there. Another one set up. And now we can keep going this way a bit. So what this needs is foundations. Which we're suddenly shifting variety of foundations. Alright, so I think it'll be easier to just place a ton of the blueprints back to back and then go in and do the other setup afterwards, all in one batch. So let's see, is that lined up? Yes, it is. And we get another one in. And then we run around this way, blow up some poor innocent foliage that doesn't do anything wrong. And loop this back around as like a second row. And the second row is going to start, but not quite finish, because we don't have the canisters for it. Alright, so let's make sure to just give it some space. How about that? And these actually don't need all of the canisters they were given. They only need like half. So we can get up to the second floor and steal some. So let's grab a stack of those. That will let us do another one. Alright. Nudge you back and in a little bit. And once again, we're placing more canisters than we actually need, so I can grab some more out of this. Alright, still missing empty canisters, so we're going to have to go grab some from one of these ones as well. Alright. Now that should be enough. I think I'll be satisfied with this number. And we nudge that back a bit to line up, and in a bit to not waste too much space. And we place. Alright, so that is all of that. Next up is run the pipes around. So that has to go as far out as it'll go, and up one tick. This goes as far out as it'll go, and up as far as it'll go. This needs to go a little further out. This needs to go a fair bit further out. Then we curve them around like so. And then this needs to be the close one. Alright, so that goes there. It dips down for no reason, but doesn't matter. That goes up there. That goes along. Oh, I forgot to raise it. So I have to get rid of that. Get rid of the support it was sitting on. Make sure that stays somewhat elevated. And we run that the rest of the way. And we run that the rest of the way. Alright. Next up is actually hooking all of these pipes up. So the close one goes to the left. Let's put all the junctions in, and then all of the connecting pipes in later. Alright, now the close one goes there, and the far one goes there. Close one goes there, far one goes there. Close one goes there, far one goes there. And that's that for the pipes. Right, that didn't quite line up correctly, which hopefully won't cause any problems. And I know it will cause problems because that's just my luck. I don't understand what it thought it was snapping to, but it was clearly not the wall holes. Alright, so that's all of that. Then the next thing we need is the output. So let's conveyor lift you down. Why is it giving me the option of which direction for it to go? That's worrying. Yeah, okay. Did you do something weird? Because you should not have given me the option there. Alright. Well, that seems to have worked fine then. That conveyor lift comes down. This conveyor lift comes down, and I might not have given enough space in here. Whoops. Alright, so then we have the mergers, which absolutely refuse to line up properly. So let's just try to do that as best as we can. And fit the belts in as well. And this shouldn't even be all that much polymer resin still. Alright. I need to bring this belt around here. Straight mode for nice and neatness. And then we need to put these mergers in. Not sure quite how to get them lined up. Also, I suspect that this one might have gone backwards. So we have that. Alright, so then that should be good. That should be good. Alright, belts all hooked up. Now the next thing are the roofs, which go like that, like that. Oh, hang on. A minute. Had to ban a bot from the chat real quick. Like that, like that. And that. Alright, now we bring power poles down to there. Hook that in. Bring that along. Bring that power pole down. and in. Then another one to bring another power pole down. And attach that into that. Then we make sure to get that in. And is that all of those? Yeah, probably. Kind of hard to tell, but I'm sure it's fine. Alright, so that attaches into that. And up to... no, not that. I guess that's fine. Alright, so then we attach in and up and across. And in. And now are all of these hooked up to power? Because I think that one was hooked up. Yep, so there's the spike in consumption from that. So now all of these are going to be producing some packaged fuel. And we'll give them a bit of time to get that warmed up. Oh, I hooked the further out polymer resins up. Didn't hook these closer in ones. So gotta do that real quick. And it looks like I got all of these ones as well. So just a quick check. There's power here. I'm not sure why max consumption is dropping. I have genuinely no idea what could cause that. Maybe it's pumps or something? Yeah, I don't understand that, but whatever. Really, the urgent thing is we need to put these floors in, because it looks somewhat ridiculous in there. So yeah, the foundation we built here wasn't wide enough, and I didn't notice until it was much too late. Alright, so at least we have that. So the fuel is being made, but just pumped into nothing in particular. And polymer resin is coming out. Alright. So now we have a lot of fuel production. We just need to hook up the last pipes and get the actual power production going. So let's run a ladder up to the top. And then take that ladder to get up. Okay, so that one was pre-hooked up, that one was pre-hooked up. The rest of these are not. So let's start running along. go. That should be that. Now these pipes should, in theory, be starting to fill. And are they? No, they are not. So what would be the problem here? It's producing fuel. It's probably just a warm-up time. Yeah, so I see polymer resin coming down, so it should theoretically... It should be starting up. Like, obviously it's going to take some time for the fuel to fill up all the pipes. But I do technically see maybe that's not real, but it seems to exist. Yep, flow rate is non-zero. The pipes are filling, and once they fill, then the generator will run, and that'll be that. Yep. There we go. Alright. It flickered briefly. Okay, that's kind of funny. They all flickered briefly at around the same time, and then all crashed at around the same time, and then all started properly running at around the same time. Which I guess makes sense because they're all hooked up to the power grid simultaneously when I placed that last connection. So their production is all in sync. Alright. That's that. Now I guess we move on to the next thing. With this, our power grid should be fine for like, it should be fine for a little while. We're going to have to come back and do more upgrades to these. And by upgrades, I just mean placing a bunch more of them. And actually, I think technically this water supply isn't going to be sufficient. So let's run down and fix that real quick. So we put a pipe in there. We attach another one of these up. And then that should be a total of 240, which should be enough. Alright, so now we need to move on to the next thing, which is also oil related. So we need to put some oil... No, I actually want it to be on the ladder. We need to put some oil onto a train and bring that train into the city the same way we did with the water. And package it up. And then we will have access to crude oil in the city and everything we can make off of that, which is a whole lot of stuff. And probably would make sense to grab the oil for that from around here and merge it up with the water tracks. So we can get like a normal node out that way. That's fine. Probably don't need a huge amount of crude oil for the city, at least immediately. So just a couple of nodes of oil will be fine. Alright, so now we are approximately above that oil. So now we build out a nice big platform. And we pop in a train station. Is that facing the right way? Yeah, probably. It probably doesn't really matter, actually. So, in order to do this, we are going to need to upgrade the water train to be two-way, which won't really be a problem, but it's just going to be something that I have to do. So let's make this platform big enough. Then we put down fluid freight platforms. 1, 2. And this is apparently not quite long enough. Thank you, trains, for being ridiculously huge. Alright, so then we call this oil source. It says no power. I guess that's the consumption. Alright. So now we need to bring oil up from down there up here. So let's put in some floor holes. And it's kind of weird to split this between these three. Also, these are not lined up at all. Let me fix that real quick. And then we just bring the pipes into there. And we need a place to put a ladder, which can be right here. And then we drop this ladder down. Alright, we ladder all the way down, and then we're also going to have to put a wall all the way down as well. Ooh, setting up fluid freight. It's certainly more work than solids. Alright, so this should get us all the way down. Alright. Now we plop down the oil extractors. One, two. There's a third one around here, right? Scan for crude oil. Yeah, just a ways over this way. Alright, so we have all of that. And it's a normal and 2 impures, so like this is really not that much oil. Which will make piping it up relatively simple at least. So let's send that over. and we pipeline junction wire you like this. So that is 120, that's 180, so this will be 240 total. Which is pretty not great. Alright. Now let's see, can we reach all the way up there to put a wall? No, we cannot. So let's climb up on a ladder. And then bring our wall down. Alright. There we go. Now, have I unlocked Mark II pumps? No, I have not. That's going to make this significantly more annoying than it needs to be. Alright, but we have our wall. So we have all of this. And it goes up the wall. And it goes up the wall. Apparently that's as far as I can see. Alright, so we put a pump in, and a pump, and there, and there, and there, and then we'll have to worry about the rest of it once we actually have vision that high. So for now, let's get power. So we need to hook all of these oil extractors up to power lines. And we need to make that Mark II. And start attaching it up to more of the pumps. Alright, now we have to get up there to do the rest of them. So up we climb. Around here will probably be good. So let's put a foundation. And get out this way. Alright, so that will go up to like there-ish. And then in there. And then this top bit is just like that. Alright, now we bring power up to where I'm standing. And then we start putting in the last couple of pumps. And hopefully that will be enough, otherwise it'll get very complicated very quickly. Alright, then that hooks up to all of those. And then finally just to the wall up there. And now we climb up. Alright, so we have this oil source here. And we need... So the next thing we need to do is we need to find that... We need to find that and hook it up to the train station. And now we just need to get the train station hooked up to the power grid, which just means hooking it up to the rail network. So let's get this brought around like that. And straighten that out. Alright, so we have that. Now we just need... So I think the way we're going to do this is we're going to have a central loop, and then these portions off here are going to be like one way, basically. So the only train that'll ever be on this track is specifically the oil train, which means that this is fine. But the main track will need to be looped because there are going to be multiple trains on it. Alright, so now this curves around this way. And now we just need to straighten this out. And come along around these pillars. So we're gonna have to do some overhauling of the train network to make this work, but it'll be fine. I suppose we could just make this its own separate track, but it seems unnecessary when we can just hook it up to this. Straighten that out and keep her going. Actually, we're going to need signals for this to work properly, right? Yeah, let's just have this run adjacent but not connected to the water train, I guess. Seems like that'll be easier. Alright. So now this comes out and go one more this way just so that they have nice bit of separation. They come under this overhang. Just placing some foundations, and then I'm going to have to come back and run it a second time to put the tracks. But we are We are getting there. Slowly but surely. And we're also going to have to set up a packager for the oil, which shouldn't really be that bad, but I will have to drive some factory carts for it. Also, we are starting to run out of concrete, which is a little bit worrying. We are so close. We are so incredibly close. Alright, almost there. Almost out of concrete, but I think we have enough. Actually, we probably won't, because we need to curve around and put in a whole new train stop over here, which is not going to be possible with our current concrete supplies. So let's instead get the railway in. So we can run the railway back this way. And then by the time we are back from doing that, we should have enough concrete to finish that off. So we shouldn't be using that much concrete for this. Just have to occasionally do something like that. Alright. There we go. Now we can take this way straight on over here. And place a new segment every so often. I don't think placing lots of smaller segments is that much less efficient in terms of steel, but even if it were, I have so much and it uses so little. So let's keep this running. And even once we have this track set up, we're still not going to have power at the oil extraction site. So this is a bit of a task. Fortunately, I mean, there are only so many distinct resources in the game. So, like, eventually I will have done all of them. And there are only, like, 3 fluids. Like, there's water, there's oil, and there's nitrogen. And everything else is either, like, a solid or something that we have to make and not import. So really we are almost done dealing with all of this fluid shenanigans. And nitrogen is a gas even, so that's even easier. Alright, we have just about made it. Just this last segment here, which I guess we're going to need to get that curve in more smoothly. And then we hook that up. And that train track is done. Alright, so now we run back over this way and use the concrete we've accumulated to build out the train station, and then we can start finally importing the crude oil. So now we just keep on walking. And once we have the crude oil set up, once we have the crude oil in, the next step is to package it, which I think is trivial. I think I just placed down my water packager blueprint and changed the recipes, and then that should be fine. And then I have to also ship in the canisters for that, but that's no big deal. And then once we have crude oil packaged, then we can set up fuel production in the city as opposed to what we were just doing, which is a separate power plant related thing. And then once that is done, then we'll be able to put that fuel onto truck stops for fueling tractors, which lets us actually do enough throughput to make our heavy modular frames. Speaking of which, yeah, it's been literally like 5 hours and I have 99 of them. It's pretty bad. Alright, so let's get this train station set up. So it's going to be, first off, we need a truck stop for it, which can be there. And then we place the truck stop in. And we run the street along that way. Alright. And for water, I had, looks like 2 stops. This one exports the packaged water. This one brings in the canisters. Yeah, that seems to be what's happening. Yeah, also we need tractors for all sorts of things. But regardless, we need then to place in these little rows around the back. And we need more concrete. Theoretically, we have concrete in the city, just over here. Let's see how much of that is actually present. That's this, right? Okay, literally 24 is all being used. Good to know. So in that case, we have to head down to the hub where we have our old concrete production, which is doing nothing interesting. So let's go down here. I think it's this one. Yep, grab a bunch of stacks of that. May as well grab some plates while we're here. And then back up. Alright. So now we can head over here and finish setting this up. Alright, so then this lines up there. We place a truck stop on it. Alright, and then we have another floor tile, I guess, back here. Lined up like that. And we go into our blueprints and we find the water packager blueprint, which I'm going to repurpose to be just a regular fuel packager blueprint. So we have that. Is this the right orientation or is it completely backwards? Alright, it actually looks like the same. Is this even the same blueprint? It sure looks different. Alright, let's go in and see what's going on here. Did I give a second name for that? Fuel water packet. Alright, that's something different entirely. No, it's got to be water packager. So why does this blueprint look not at all like that one? I guess I just put the I put the wall in. That makes sense. Ah, don't fall. Don't fall off the foundation. That's what the jetpack is for. Alright, so we put a wall there. We put a wall hole there-ish. Apparently not there-ish. Apparently it's further over there. Alright, so it takes in packages and water and outputs something somewhere probably. How do you leave this blueprint? By taking down a wall, I guess. Alright, so that packages go in there. And the fluids from the train station go in there. And then the outputs are up on the second floor. Alright, well let's move around the back to construct the train station. Alright, I have a train station hotbar. So we need enough space for the trains to turn. So let's make sure we have that. Actually, the trains don't need to turn, right? Because this is going to be a one-way thing. Or a two-way thing, specifically. Literally the opposite of what I said. Very cool. Alright, so we get the train station in. We put that in. I guess we might be able to fit a curve in. If we put it around this way, we can fit a curve in. Alright, so then that has to come along like some ways, like there, and then snap into that, and we call this, actually, I should have put the other, I should have put the fluid freight platforms in before I did that. There might not be enough space. So let's get transportation. Through freight platforms can have a hotbar. 1, 2. Why do you insist on pointing the opposite direction? Alright, so yeah, that is too close then. No. Stop it. Stop being placed in weird locations. Alright, so then that can go in like that, which is a bit awkward and does sort of stray a bit close to this, but that's fine. I can just put this one like out here. The fluid buffers and pipes and stuff is what I'm referring to there. Alright. So we need to get that just over there. Say that worked. I think I missed one of the two sides. Yep. Can I land there? No. Alright, I need a ladder so that I can just actually take a look at it from a stable perspective. And this ladder is way too close. I need one that's looking at it at a diagonal. Alright. Did that get it? No. This ladder is also not at the right angle. Alright, what I need is just a ladder on facing this direction so that the ladder itself isn't in the way. Alright, that is all that was needed there. And hang on, actually I don't like that. I actually want it to come over here and meet up with these ones. So let's have that go there. Okay, what I should actually do is I should attach the power to everything so that the oil producers over there can actually start producing oil. That would be pretty cool. Alright. We need to upgrade that to a Mark II. Alright, so now that this is powered, I can put a locomotive with 1, 2, 3 cars, and alright, this place is called Monroe Falls. let's change that real quick to oil supplier. And off it goes. So these are set to unload, because this is a destination. And then we take all of this oil, we attach everything up to it, and we're going to need to hop under the tracks again, because of course we do. Alright, so that this goes... Actually, let's get a fluid buffer in here, just so that we have one. Never gonna hurt to have industrial fluid buffer after a train station. Alright, so now we go from there to there. And that goes into there. And we hook up this to power, which this needs to be Mark II. I should really just make them Mark IIs in the blueprint. It would make everything a lot easier. Alright. Everything looks fine there. So now we just need a canister source. We need to change the recipes in there to the correct thing. Alright, so that is the canisters being sent in via belt. Now we hop in here. And we tell these to make packaged oil, which is apparently half as fast for some unknowable reason. But that's fine. There's a second floor, right? Right. So let's get up there. Maybe through this. No. Alright, where's the door? It's back here. Alright, then we set these to all make packaged oil. And that should be good to go. Also, the train just arrived. Hopefully delivering delicious oily snacks. It looks like it didn't. So that's slightly concerning. Alright, so let's head back there. And I really wish I'd caught the train. We're going to have to head back and see what went wrong. Probably a pump problem, if I had to guess. If I had to guess, the pumps don't reach far enough. But let's get over there and see. Jumping along. It is quite a distance. And this would be a lot worse to travel on, you know, not along a sky bridge. It would be a bit more fun to travel not along a sky bridge because there would be like pathfinding to do, but sometimes you gotta make it easier and also more boring. So what I need to do is set up a hypertube cannon. That needs to be the next step for that. Ooh, a summer sloop. Don't mind if I do. To get in over the mushrooms. Alright, grab that. And then back over the mushrooms. And we keep on walking. It's really far. Yeah, I'm going to set up a hypertube cannon. There's no way I'm walking back normally. That would take forever. Okay, wait. There is a small amount of crude oil in each of these tanks. And the last one has the most. For some reason. Who knows why, but it turns out that heading out there to verify was wrong, and it does in fact work. Cool. Well, now we get to ride on a train, which is always fun. I do love riding on trains. Oh. I've fallen off the train. I was having too much fun. Now it's going to take me forever to get back. Alright, off we go. Alright, we're basically there. So now we need to take advantage of the oil that we are now importing and actually do something with it. So we need canisters. So first we run this loop around here. So they can access this without exploding. Now we need to set these to unload, I guess. Yeah, I think that's right. And now we need a... Oh, we do need it in here. We need an equipment workshop to make some factory carts. And I'll just make like 3 of them. I don't know what I'm going to do with all of these, but probably going to need them for something at some point. Alright. So, actually we need to remember where we're going. Is it this thing over here right on the edge? No, that's concrete, right? Okay, it is literally this one here. So we get the canisters from this, and we take them over to there, and it's easy. Easy peasy. Alright. Start recording. Unload to there. Loop around. I just realized I do not actually know which side we're loading the canisters from. Alright. We're actually just gonna have to do that, which didn't work for some reason. Alright. Delete the path. Because I think it's because the other cart was already in there. And so it didn't register it. So load from there. Turn right around. And alright, that is a spin out. We're gonna have to remove that. We have to get around, access this side, because this is the one that we're using, I believe. Now we just have to make it back to here. Alright, path recording complete. I have some fixes to do. Like there's a spin out here, which we don't want. We registered this node, which we don't want. Then go around there and come back, and we're good. Alright. Save this as canisters to oil. Enable autopilot, hide the path nodes, and have fun. Yeah, it'll figure itself out eventually, probably, but let's move it back a little bit. Alright. It's definitely doing weird stuff. I'm just going to assume that it'll figure itself out, and it did. Cool. And there's crude oil in this pipeline. And the canisters output up there. Alright, so we put in a foundation here. We split. And we have inputs there. And have to get an angle on the right one. And there. So that goes there, that goes there. And I don't know how fast this needs to be. We'll make it Mark 3 just in case. What? Alright. That comes around there. Alright. That is that. And is this filling up? It's got like 400-ish. It's pretty good. Alright, let's put another cart on this route. Alright, load canisters to oil. Load, enable, off you go. I set you to autopilot, right? And you have the path loaded? Yep. Alright. You'll figure yourself out and start bringing in the canisters at some point. And then that'll be that. And yeah, we have oil starting to fill up. I have no idea how fast this is, and it probably relies on factory cart speeds for bringing in the canisters. Either that, or it'll rely on the somewhat abysmally slow input of crude oil that we have. But regardless, it should be fine. So now we have crude oil in packaged form on the foundation. We can do a whole lot of things. Like, we can probably do computers now. But the next thing we are actually going to be doing is packaged fuel, which is going to be very, very similar to the diluted fuel recipe blueprint that we already have, but it's going to be slightly different because we need to recycle canisters through the whole thing instead of just, oh, right, it requires canisters for that. That's annoying, because now I have to go back up to get them. I need to put canisters in the dimensional storage. I'll do that while I'm over there. Alright, so here we have the canisters. Their secret hidden underground storage facility, and by underground I mean still way above ground, is here. And I can just snap a dimensional storage on there. Put a depot on, and Bob's your uncle. We have canisters in dimensional depot. So that is that. Problem solved. Now we head down here, and this time successfully load us up this blueprint. Although actually it's going to be quite different. Yeah, actually I think there's genuinely just no point doing that. Clear. Just give me a box. Where's the box? Move that down into utility. Sure. Alright, so we have our box. And we have our refinery. So this makes diluted packaged fuel from packaged water to packaged fuel, which is actually pretty convenient because it already has the packages built in, but we have heavy oil residue as well. So we need to start with a packager, of course, because this is a blueprint in the city. So we unpackage oil here. So now we have crude oil and canisters. Now we put a refinery in, I don't know, somewhere like there. And the refinery takes crude oil to heavy oil residue. And then we have another refinery pointing back this way. Which does diluted packaged fuel, and it takes heavy oil residue and packaged water from an input wall. And that makes packaged fuel, which is the output we are looking for. Oh, but actually all of this the inputs all have to be on the second floor. Why did I take that foundation out? That was unnecessary. I guess it does make it marginally easier to get up here real quick. Alright, so all the inputs and outputs are on this floor. So let's get a double conveyor wall in there for the inputs, double conveyor wall in there for the outputs. Like that. That, and then we just hook the belts up, and we hook the belts up, and we put that wall back in, of course, and then we run futilely around looking for a door, but there isn't one, so then we put that door back in. Alright, so these have to not be those. That could be a door wall. That's fine. Alright, does that fit there? No. Alright, so I actually think the first way we had it is going to be the way we have to do it, where these are two separate single input walls, just to get the spacing right. So then that is a conveyor wall, and this is where the door goes. Tear all those out. That in there, put that in there. Put those in. And feed belts into them. And then we hop down here. Make that wall another door, I guess. Sure, why not? Alright. The spacing here is actually quite tight, apparently. If I put that in like that, then that lines up. Brings in the packaged oil. Cool, so that makes crude oil and empty canisters, which we're going to have to deal with. And then we make heavy oil and polymer resin, which we're going to have to deal with. And then we make packaged fuel. So we actually need 3 outputs: canisters, polymer resin, and packaged fuel. Alright. I hope that looks auto-connected because it is, and not because it isn't. So we make this a triple output wall. We give it its 3 conveyor lift holes. And they have to be output conveyor lifts, not input conveyor lifts, of course. And drop down here. And we have packaged fuel there, empty canisters here. And polymer resin somewhere around here, I think. Yeah, polymer resin out of this one. That comes up. I guess it'll make sense to drag these in. Now the outputs are output. And just try to avoid those from clipping too much. Bit unavoidable, but who cares? Alright, now this is the one which needs the water. Need to get the water from there to there. And in. Alright. So that's all that. And I think that's everything for this blueprint. So let's get the power situation handled. Alright, power situation done. Now I just need to figure out what exactly the inputs and outputs are here and get the ratios all right. So this is packaged fuel. It needs 30 heavy oil residue. So this can make 30 out of 22.5 crude oil, which means this needs to unpackage 22.5 crude oil. And we also have 15 polymer resin lying about, and we're going to be using 60 packaged water. Alright. So to recap, it is 22.5 oil, 60 water, to 60 packaged fuel. Packaged fuel, 22.5 crude oil, 60 water to 60 packaged fuel. Save the blueprint and clear it. And probably should reselect that. Alright. Now we just need to head up here and get that set up. And then we can start running fuel about, which will be fun. Alright, so the water and oil are both being packaged here. Yeah, so it doesn't know how much is outgoing, but I have no idea. It looks like the packages here are keeping up, as is the crude oil supply. So it looks like throughput is the limiting factor here, which is good. Alright, so now let's get these blueprints in. So this inputs the packaged water and the, what's it called? The packaged water and the packaged oil. Then I need another one to do the outputs, which will be I guess I could try to properly conserve polymer resin, but I think more likely I'm just going to sink it. Alright, so then the outputs for this are the canisters and the packaged fuel, which can go there. And then we put that road in for access purposes. That road in there. And we put more floor tiles in. Right, and these don't get truck stops, obviously. One of these gets packaged fuel. And just like that. Alright. So now we hook that up to that. We hook that up to that, and then we hook that up to some power pole somewhere convenient like that. So now all of this is powered on, and we just need to run, what is it, 3? So we need to run one from the oil to here, one from the water to here, and one from here to the canisters, which are right here. So let's start with the oil, which is just literally right across the street. Start recording. Load cargo. We're gonna have to set that to unload, but it's not really a problem. Alright. Then we pull in here. Grab that. Then we make our way out. And done. Save oil to fuel. And now we just make sure it didn't stop anywhere random, which it shouldn't have on such a short trip. Yep, and it didn't. I already saved this, right? Yeah. Alright. Then we enable autopilot, hide the nodes, and jostle it a bit so that it figures out to actually do the autopiloting. Then we need more... We need more factory carts, so let's craft another 2 of these. Alright, that should be enough. Alright, and then we take this one to the water. Make sure to trigger that. Then we loop around. We get in here. We almost crash, but we don't crash. And then we make it... Alright, the record menu just didn't start, apparently, which is fine because I was very sloppy there. Not my best driving ever. So let's start recording. Load there, loop around. Go to the water. Why are you like this? Alright. Then you go all the way around. And let's fix whatever the heck that was by just deleting a couple of random nodes. Now that should be fine. And we can save this as water to fuel. Save. Enable autopilot. Hide path nodes. And jostle you a bit. Now we have to set these 2 to unload. And this one is the oil. That one is the water. So which one goes where? The left one is... The outside one is the oil, which I believe is this one. So let's get this up there. And in. Yes. Alright, we did it right. And then this goes up there. And in. And it'll take a bit longer for the water to show up, but it will show up eventually. Although... Is this really the water? No, this is the water source. Hopefully I used the right one. I think I did. But we are not getting enough water. Presumably because we are not getting enough canisters. Well, we can fix all of our transport-related issues once we have fuel. But getting fuel will require fixing all of our transport-related issues, so, yikes. Alright, and then the last thing to do is drive from here back over there. This is supposed to be a main road here. So let's put down this. And you start recording. Load from there. Get around here. Don't crash into other factory carts. Then stop at the canister return, where, please... Alright, the presence of other factory carts has ruined it for us. It should have been so simple. I'm not entirely sure it worked. Alright, we'll have to see. So, we head down there. We're looking for the yellow stop icon here. And there it is. Alright, somehow that worked. I have no idea how, but it seems to have worked. So this is fuel canister return. Save that one. Enable autopilot, hide the path nodes. And off you go. Alright. It is getting some water, it looks like. That's encouraging. Now we need to figure out which of these outputs is which. And also if they're connected or not. Alright. Let's get them coming out like that, I guess. So we have packaged fuel there, which we need to keep. We have the empty canisters there, which we need to recycle. And then we have the polymer resin up here, which needs to be sunk. So I will just put a floor there with a sink on it. And power up the sink. And polymer resin is now being sunk. We just have to take the canisters to shoot this one, I think, and the fuel to this one. Gosh, I should have paid attention when I was setting that cart route up. But I'm pretty sure it was this one. So this one is the canisters, so let's get that up there. And get that up there. And then this one will be where the fuel goes. So that comes up and over there. And that should be all good to go. Now, I assume something is going horribly wrong because of the lack of water. So next stream, we are going to take our newfound supply of fuel and we are going to use it to start running some truck routes to make sure everything actually gets everything that it needs, especially the raw resources, so water, iron ore, iron ingots, those are the ones that I'm using large quantities of at the moment, but probably some other stuff will be used too. So yeah, it is 4:51, and this seems like a reasonably good stopping point. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. Tomorrow is Magic the Gathering again, and the day after that will be more Satisfactory. So make sure to tune in 2 to 5 every weekday.